today we are here with LFA featherweight Nate Richardson. He's fighting at LFA 82. He's going to be fighting Jake Childers. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let's talk about this fight. How are things going in preparations?
Preparation is going good. Like I said, we're on track for weight. Everything's been going smoothly in this camp, especially since I went out to New Mexico to train with Cowboy, help him get ready. Then John Dodson and Red Boar, who fought last week. So everything's been going smoothly.
Okay, and let's talk about the altitude of New Mexico. Training out there, do you think that's going to pay dividends in the fight this week?
I wouldn't say too much because usually when you're out there, when you come back, it only lasts for 10 days. And I came back like a month ago. So, but one thing I normally stay on top of is my cardio and my conditioning. So I should be fine, regardless how many rounds, how long the fight goes.
Okay, now, according to my research, okay, you stand about 5'7", but for featherweight, you're pretty jacked. Has weight ever been an issue?
No, weight never been an issue. The only time I ever say if I miss weight is because I had a bad camp, or if I'm dealing with injury, I can't do what I normally do to cut the weight. But nah, weight been perfect. Like I said, I work with Lockhart Fitness, so they normally make sure they know exactly what I'm eating for my supplement meals wise. So I'm always good on my weight. That's why my condition is always very fine.
Okay, so you take a pretty articulate approach then.
Or I have to. When you're pro in the game, that's your job. You got to be on top of it.
Okay, and let's talk about your opponent a little bit. The guy's undefeated, a little bit taller. How do you feel about the prospect of taking this guy's shiny 0 away?
Like I said, I'm very, very excited. I consider him a very high level opponent. He's a threat. Like I said, one thing I never do is I don't underestimate anybody. You can be a world champion. You can be your undefeated professional. I still come at you with the same way I tackle every task, which is think, execute, and dominate. And normally that's what I do when the fight time shows up.
Okay, and what are some things that you do outside of the cage, just, maybe for fun to take your mind off of fighting?
Like I said, I like to stay active, so running is one of the things I like to do. Also, since as a kid I used to play soccer. Soccer is another hobby, and when I got some time, I like to draw. But most importantly, I just like to. I'm a little fatty, so I like to try new foods. Sorry, fighting is cool, but they lied. Food's too good. Like I pass something I like, which is food, and I'm doing something what normally restrict me to have certain foods. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. I'm a foodie myself. I'm a fat kid at heart. Okay, so that literally ties into my next question. After you win on Friday night at LFA 82, what are your plans for your victory meal?
To be honest, since my coach is always on me for getting my weight too high, the plan is actually just to go ahead and go have sushi on Saturday. I know sushi is not a cheat meal, but still healthy. But unfortunately, doing camp, I can't have it. So I figure I'll have something. Like right now, I'm craving a lot of things. But usually once I weigh in, all that goes away. So brownies, like all the other things I normally wouldn't have. That's what I'm craving right now. So, but I say I'll definitely go have sushi and just I get one day of cheat, then I'm back to not as hard, but slowly back to the process again.
Okay, and then let's talk about the promotion here. We're fighting for LFA. Recently, they signed their broadcast deal with UFC Fight Pass. Now, a lot of the fighters, are dealing with the transition. Before they were on a different platform, but now on the UFC Fight Pass, they're a lot easily accessible around the world, and not to mention you 9 times out of 10 you're on Dana White's radar because you're on his platform. So, talk to me about the opportunity to fight on Fight Pass.
Like I said, it's not the first time I fought on Fight Pass. When I was signed with Glory, since Glory is signed with the UFC and you can watch them on Fight Pass, I'm there as well. So me coming back and joining LFA it's just more views on me, but it's not something that I find difficult. Just something I'm sort of getting used to mostly.
Okay, and then let's talk about the kickboxing career. I did see on your record that you had a few fights. Any plans to dive back into that at all?
No, unfortunately not. Like I said, when I used to be fighting with Legacy before they signed with RFA to make Elevate.
Mhm.
I was going pretty strong. Had a 3-fight winning streak going on. Then I broke my hand in my last fight, so I had to just sit back and rethink what's my next process. And when Glory came to town, my coach said, how would you like to do some kickboxing? I was like, cool. I saw it as a way just to sharpen some rust off my skills. I didn't have any mindset of doing it for long. Then I realized that all the all the kickboxing fights I've been doing, my record was actually 10-1. So it wasn't a bad record. So I figure I just face some of the best in the scraggers in the world and see how I stand out. To see just basically what I still need to work on, how far off I am from them, from the guys at the top. And one thing I realized when I got there is most of these guys got a lot of record. They got a lot of fights. So one thing they do have them is experience. But as far as skills and talent goes, I'm at the same radar, which was kind of great when I got back to MMA, because it's the same thing I do when I go to New Mexico. Trino Cowboy, Dodson, Ray Bohr, those guys, all I'm seeing is just how much difference I am from them and how much I'm lacking still. And it's not a big gap. I just got to constantly work a little bit more and just add it up, and eventually I'll be exactly where I need to be at.
Okay, so you're fighting an undefeated opponent. You're fighting for LFA. Do you have a prediction on how you're gonna take his O away?
Like I say, it can go in many ways, but I got only 3 ways of this ending, and it's either in the second round or the third. It's either gonna be by a knee or elbow or a body shot.
All three sound lovely. So I think the crowd in attendance and those watching on UFC Fight Pass would definitely appreciate a finish of that velocity. Now, before I let you go, I'd like to give you a second to thank anybody you'd like that got you to your career up until this point. Coaches, training partners, sponsors, whoever you'd like. Take as long as you'd like. The floor is yours.
Like I said, I like to thank my manager Ricky, my coach Chris, and the seller Jim. Everybody who's showed their support constantly. My teammate who Pam Sorson, who is let's go Invicta featherweight champion, for her help, and just everybody who actually showed me that love and support. I appreciate it. But most importantly, I say that even the people who doubt me, they fuel my fire a lot more. So I appreciate that as well. So I like to thank everybody.
All right, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck in your fight over at LFA 82. You're fighting Jake Childers. This is a good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for having me, man. It's gonna be a show. Definitely tune in.
Oh, I'll be watching. I'll be watching.
Thank
All
you,
right,
man.
man. Thank you for your
Have a good
time.
one.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye.